Destiny Girls College was supposed to be a place for dreams, discipline, and destiny. That's what they wrote boldly on the school gates. It was a beautiful boarding school with clean dormitories, strict rules, and teachers that never smiled too much. Parents paid a lot to send their daughters there, believing the school would protect them. But they didn't know what happened when the sun went down. I remember the first day of school that term. I was sitting with my two closest friends, Amaka and Alima, under the mango tree near the dining hall. We were talking about exams and how strict the new maths teacher was when they walked past us, the four of them. Nancy, Belinda, Cynthia, and Juliet. They didn't walk like the rest of us. Their skirts were shorter, their hair always freshly done, and their perfume was too strong for school. Every girl noticed them, and every boy from the neighboring school wanted to talk to them. But there was something else, something hidden behind their beautiful faces. At first, we thought they were just the slay queens of the school, those girls who liked makeup and attention. But it didn't take long to see that there was more. They were never in class on Monday morning. They always had new clothes, flashy phones, and expensive hair extensions. Some nights, we would hear footsteps in the hallway. Soft, quiet, sneaky. The next day, they returned before dawn, acting like nothing happened. One night, I couldn't sleep. I heard jiggles and the sound of keys turning. I peeped through the window curtain and saw it with my own eyes. Juliet was climbing out through the back door of the hostel. A black Benz was waiting near the fence. A man in his late 30s opened the door for her like she was royalty. I froze. The next morning, the four of them came back just before morning devotion. They looked tired but satisfied. That same day, Nancy came to school with a new phone. Everyone was talking about it. She said it's a gift from her uncle. One girl said, "Uncle or sugar daddy?" Amaka whispered to me. That was the beginning of their awareness. We started watching them closely. They weren't just skipping class, sneaking out for fun. They were living a dangerous double life. School girls by day, hookup girls by night. We called them the night queens. They didn't care about the exams or school rules. They only cared about the money, fame, and men. Some of our classmates admired them. Others, like us, were scared. One day, Nancy approached me in the school garden. "Titi," she said with a sweet smile, "why are you always hiding with your friends? You are pretty. You can have a better life. Stop suffering." I didn't say a word, but I saw it in her eyes. She believed what she was doing was the only way to survive. That day, I told Amaka and Alima everything. We made a promise, no matter what happened, we will never follow their path. But that promise started a war. The night queens didn't like the fact that we were watching them. They didn't like the fact that some guests were listening to us instead of following them. And they were ready to do anything to silence us. That's how the rivalry began. After the day Nancy tried to lure me in with soft words and fake promises, everything changed. The air between us and the night queens became cold, heavy. In the dining hall, they started throwing small insults our way. "See them." Belinda would whisper loudly as we walked by, suffering and smiling. "Now Boo go marry you." Sometimes they block our way in the hostel corridor, acting like they just wanted to talk. But their words were knives. "You girls think you are better than us," Cynthia snapped one night. "Because you carry textbook like Bible, better wake up before life teaches you a hard lesson." Amaka wanted to confront them, but I stopped her. "They are lost," I said. "We won't join them by fighting." But still, it hurt. The sad part, some girls started switching sides. Girls who used to study with us in the hostel now sat with Nancy and her group, laughing louder than usual. One of them, Sandra, even asked me, Titi, don't you ever get tired of being broke? I didn't answer her, but I saw the hunger in her eyes. Hunger for phones, wigs, flashy clothes, and a life she didn't understand. That's how the night queens operated, through desire. They made the lifestyle look sweet. They never showed the pain, the shame, the danger. But we saw it. We saw Belinda cry alone one night behind the classroom block. We saw Cynthia walking with a bruise on her arm. We saw how tired Juliet looked, even when she forced a smile. Still, they kept living that life and dragging others with them. The school didn't know, or maybe they pretended not to know. The gate man, Mr. Joseph, always had alcohol on his breath. It was easy for the guests to bribe him or could distract him with small talk and perfume. One Friday night, something big happened. We had just finished night prep. Amaka and I went back to the hostel early, but Halima stayed behind to return a textbook. That was when she saw them. 4 girls, dressed in skimpy clothes under their school jackets, sneaking out through the back fence. A small car was waiting. Halima saw everything, but they didn't see her. She came running to our room, breathing heavily. I saw them, all of them. All of them. Nancy even kissed the driver. We knew we had to do something. But what? Report them? Who would believe us? That night, we wrote everything we knew into a notebook. Dates, what we seen, names. We call it the truth book. But someone found out. The next morning, our locker was broken into. The book was gone. That's when the night queens declared full war. They turned the entire hostel against us. Rumors started spreading that we were jealous, that we were spies, that we wanted to destroy others' happiness. The 3 of us became outcast. They made our life hell, but we didn't stop watching. We knew something bad was coming, something big, something that will expose everything, whether they were ready or not. The tension in schoolgirls' college was getting worse. Amaka barely smiled anymore. Halima had stopped attending night prep, and me, I started sleeping with one eye open. We knew the night queens were planning something, and it would be wicked, but nothing prepared us for what happened that Friday night. It was midterm weekend. Most of the guests were expecting food from home. The school was a little looser during this period. Fewer teachers stayed on campus, and the senior hostel had more freedom than usual. It was the perfect time to strike for them. I remember we had just gone to bed when we heard loud whisper near the window. They are going again, Amaka said, peeping. 4 figures dressed in shorts, tight clothes, tiptoed past the fence. But this time, they weren't alone. 2 junior girls followed closely, Sandra and Peace. They have finally dragged them in. Halima whispered, her voice shaking. These are JSS 3 girls. That was the movement. Something inside me snapped. It was no longer just rivalry. It was evil. They were recruiting young girls into a life they might never return from. We had to do something. We couldn't keep quiet anymore. We took the risk. We sneaked out too, but not to follow them. We went straight to the headmistress, Miss Eze. She was shocked at first, then suspicious. Do you have proof? No, I said boldly, but come with us. You will see it with your eyes. She agreed. For the first time, someone was ready to listen. Miss Eze called 2 security guards, and they followed us through the back of the hostel, hiding behind bushes near the fence. We waited. 1 hour passed, then 2. Just when we thought nothing would happen, we heard tires scratching. A small white car returned, but it wasn't alone. 2 more cars followed behind it. One of them was a police van. We didn't understand what was happening. Then we saw Nancy and the other girls being pushed out of the cars, half-dressed, confused, crying. Sandra and Peace were also pulled out, looking terrified. They had been caught in a hotel during a raid. We stood frozen. The night queens, the girls who used to laugh at us, the girls who were once untouchable, we are now crying like children. The police said they were picked up in a raid on an illegal party involving underage girls and older men. The men escaped, but the girls didn't. Everything came crashing down that night. The principal was called. The next morning, parents were invited. Phones were confiscated. A full investigation started. Nancy was suspended. Belinda was expelled. Cynthia and Juliet were sent home for a month. Sandra and Peace were transferred to another school. And us, we became the girls who dared to speak up. But it wasn't a pride we felt. It was pain. Pain that things had gone that far. Pain that the girls had almost lost themselves completely. And pain because deep inside, we still cared about them. The school was quiet after the incident. Too quiet. No more perfume-filled corridors. No more sneaky footsteps at night. No more whispers of flashing phones and sugar daddies. The hostel felt like a different place. But even in the silence, the damage had already been done. 2 weeks after the suspension, Nancy returned. Alone. No Belinda, no Cynthia, no Juliet. She walked through the school gate with her head low. Not like the proud queen who once owned every hallway. Her hair was rough. Her skin looked pale. Her eyes, those same eyes that once carried boldness and pride, now carried something else. Shame. Guests stared as she walked in. Some whispered, others laughed. But we didn't. I watched her from afar, and I didn't feel like laughing. I felt sorry. Later that evening, I was sweeping in front of the hostel when Nancy approached me slowly. Titi, she said. Her voice was soft. Can I talk to you? I nodded. We sat behind the hostel, where no one could hear us. She stared at the ground for a while. Before she spoke, I didn't plan to end up like this. I didn't say anything. I just listened. My mom is sick. She continued, tears rolling down her cheeks. My dad left us years ago. We barely eat. When the first man gave me 50,000, I just hung out. I thought it was a blessing before I knew it. I was lost in it. I didn't even know how to come back. She cried. Not the kind of fake crying people do when they are caught, but the deep, silent kind. The kind that comes from regret. I dragged the others into it. She whispered, especially Juliet. I hate myself for that. I placed my hand gently on hers. Nancy, I said, we all make mistakes. What matters now is what you do with your second chance. She nodded slowly. I want to be better. I don't want to be that girl again. That night, she moved her mattress close to ours in the hostel. Some guests mocked her. Some refused to talk to her. But the Amaka, Alima and I sat with her during prep, ate with her during lunch, and walked with her to class. We didn't do it because we forgot what she did. We did it because we knew that helping her change was more powerful than punishing her with silence. 3 weeks later, she stood up during morning devotion and asked to speak. I am sorry, she said in front of the whole school. To the teachers, to the students, to the junior who looked up to me, I was wrong. I let greed control me, but I am ready to change. Some clapped, others rolled their eyes, but I saw hope that day. And slowly, Nancy began to rebuild herself. But there was still one more twist in the story. Something none of us expected. Juliet hadn't gone home. She had run away. And what happened to her next, none of us saw coming. We thought the worst was over. Nancy was slowly changing. Cynthia had been seen helping her mother sell vegetables near their house. Belinda's parents sent her to a distant village for rehabilitation. Sandra and Peace were now in a school with tighter discipline. But Juliet disappeared. At first, the school said she went home, But when her parents came looking for her 2 weeks later, crying and begging for help, we realized something was wrong. She never came back. Her mom cried in front of the principal office. She said she was spending the weekend with a friend before coming home. Juliet had always been the softest among them. She followed because she was desperate for love. Her father had been in her life, and her mother was too busy surviving to notice when Juliet started changing. She was only 16, but she had already seen too much. Rumors started flying. Some said she ran off with one of the men who used to pick her up. Others said she was trapped in a brothel in a nearby city. A few claimed she was in a hospital, too ashamed to return, but no one knew the truth. Nancy broke down when she heard. She blamed herself. She begged me to follow that night. She sobbed. She said she didn't want to be alone. I held her hand. "It's not your fault anymore," I whispered. "You tried to stop that count for something." Juliet's case reached the police. A search was launched, but weeks passed, then months, no sign of her. Sometimes I would sit under the mango tree where we first saw the Night Queens and wonder if Juliet ever regretted her choices. I wonder if she was scared, if she wanted to come home but didn't know how. One Sunday, during chapel service, the school chaplain spoke directly to us. "Some of you may have made bad choices. Some of you may have watched your friends make them. But let today be the day you choose light over darkness. You are not too far gone. God is still reaching out." I closed my eyes. I thought of Nancy. I thought of Juliet. And I prayed. Nancy later became a prefect in her final year. She used her story to counsel junior girls. The school introduced mentorship programs and security was tightened. Amaka, Halima, and I remained friends, stronger than ever. Juliet was never found, but her story stayed with us, not as gossip, but as a warning. A reminder that one night, one wrong decision can change everything. And so, the night they lost themselves became more than just a title. It became a truth and a lesson we will never forget.